Before starting. Oh. Great! Again, with cutting me off mid-sentence by joining this.
Well, obviously.
I even had a bit I wanted to say, but fuck it now. I was gonna make
Oh
a
yes,
joke
insulting my daily showering habits.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that on recording. I want to save that for later.
I try really hard, but I have a sweating problem.
I was even gonna try to make a joke and say like, boy, winter's coming, those sand penguins are gonna start heading south or whatever, but nope.
Fuck!
No more old
What?
references or jokes to haha, I actually read it this far.
Why a callback to our longest series?
Because
Link in the description to Atlanta Nights.
I'm pretty sure they could just scroll back and see it if they're really interested.
Yeah, probably.
It's probably like, well, yeah, it's like Temptation of Edward Cullen and then Atlanta Nights, so who cares? It's like at the time of recording that.
Yes.
Fuck.
So they can go to our 20-part series.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to link them to the Sand Penguin episode.
Yeah, I don't even remember which one that was.
I think that was just us two.
Yeah, it was just us two. Just like with the word salad one.
Well, that's your only hint to find the episode. It's a duo episode.
But I'm Llytic. This is Zane.
I'm a sand penguin. Fuck! Why'd you say my name?
Fuck you.
Gee, alright. Fuck, you're ruining everything for me today.
I ruin everything for everyone. I have never made anyone's life easier.
Anyways, today we're reading more creepypastas since it's Spooptober.
Yes.
Today's episode, Squidward's Suicide. Yay!
Hooray. Lost episode creepypasta. Those are always great.
I just hope I don't end up doing what Squidward does in this creepypasta. God damn.
As if you couldn't tell from the title.
So yeah, spoilers much, man. Come on.
Spoilers, you die at the end of your story.
Wow.
But if you couldn't tell, Squidward's Suicide is a SpongeBob Lost episode creepypasta. Because for some reason, everyone just has a weird obsession with taking childhood shows and trying to make them scary by saying, oh, here's an episode that was never aired.
Yeah.
I think one of the worst ones out there is the Rugrats one.
I just hate the theory that everyone is dead in Ed, and Eddie. That's my...
Oh, God. Like, I could understand that theory, but at the same time, it's stupid. It's not as bad as Rugrats' theory, though. In which all the babies are just something created by Angelica's imagination.
Oh yeah, fuck
that. Yeah. Phil and Lil was a stillbirth, and then being as Angelica didn't know what gender the child was, she decided that it was twins.
I don't think a small child really can comprehend twins like that.
Not really, no. I'm pretty sure most small children don't actually give a shit about gender.
Yeah, that too.
Anyway, let's start this shit show.
Bet.
Fuck.
Me. What?
What?
What? Anyways.
I just want to start off by saying if you want an answer to the end, at the end, prepare to be disappointed. There just isn't one.
An answer to what?
I don't know.
Exactly. Let's just fucking start.
I did start it!
What? Fuck!
That's the first paragraph.
Oh boy, off to a great start. I was an intern at Nickelodeon Studios for a year in 2005 for my degree in animation. It wasn't paid, of course. Most internships aren't. Ugh. But it did have some perks beyond education. To adults,
like I got to serve people coffee.
I got to make punch pop porn, and it was totally canon.
Oh God.
To adults, it might not seem like a big one, but most kids at the time would go crazy over it.
Most kids go crazy over a lot of shit.
Yeah, like Tide Pods.
No, that was just the media. That meme was dead until the news picked it up.
Just like most things.
Yeah.
Topical.
Now, since I worked with the editors and animators, I got to view the new episodes before they aired. I'll get right to it without giving too many unnecessary details. They had very recently made the SpongeBob movie, the one with David Hasselhoff, and the entire staff was somewhat sapped of creativity, so it took them longer to start up the season. Only part of that was because of the fact that the SpongeBob movie was actually supposed to be the end of the entire SpongeBob series. And technically speaking, it is the canonical end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that means that technically it takes place after the current season of SpongeBob.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Like they just keep pushing back the timeline slightly.
It's because it's their big seller.
Yeah. Just like Fairly Odd Parents won't die. Or did that finally die?
I hope it does. Let's just start bringing in more and more terribly written characters. I'm happy about the fact that they realized that that dog was terrible.
Did they ever actually, like, get rid of it, or did they just...
No, it just stopped popping up after the first season that it was in. Like, it just disappeared and no one mentioned it. Weirdly enough, something similar happened with the baby fairy Poof, but not with Nega Poof.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, because I kind of liked Poof slightly near the end. Like, Poof wasn't that bad.
It wasn't as terrible as the other shoehorned characters. Because the whole thing is, like, before, like, the negative fairies completely took over, they were only in 2 episodes. And those 2 episodes were good. But it's kind of like a Scotsman situation. Anyway, the Scotsman from Samurai Jack.
Oh.
Before the final season, he was only in, like, 2 or 3 episodes.
Alright.
But the whole thing is everyone remembers him.
Oh, he's just a good character then.
Yeah. Which in the latest season, in the final season, there's like a minute-long stretch of him just trash-talking Aku.
Is there really?
To his face. But the delay lasted longer for more upsetting reasons. You mean like the fact that it was going to be originally canceled? There was a problem with the season 4 premiere that set everyone and everything back for several months.
Me and 2 other interns were in the editing room along with the lead animators and sound editors for the final cut. We received the copy that was supposed to be Fear of the Krabby Patty, and gathered around the screen to watch. Now, given that this isn't the final yet, the animators put up a mock title card, sort of like an inside joke for us, with phony, oftentimes lewd titles such as How Sex Doesn't Work, instead of Rockabye
Bivalve.
Bivalve.
That was the one where Patrick and SpongeBob adopted a baby scallop.
Which is what they were just about to say in it.
Yeah.
When SpongeBob and Patrick adopt a sea scallop.
I didn't even realize it said that.
It really did.
I just remember that episode.
Nothing particularly funny about but the work-related chuckles. So when we saw the title card Squidward's Suicide, we didn't think it more than a morbid joke.
Dodgy sentence structure, but okay. One of the interns did a small throat laugh at it. The happy-go-lucky music plays as is normal. The story began with Squidward practicing his clarinet, hitting a few sour notes like normal. We heard SpongeBob laughing outside, and Squidward stops, yelling at him to keep it down as he has a concert that night and needs to practice. SpongeBob says okay and goes to see Sandy with Patrick. The bubble splash screen comes up and we see the ending of Squidward's concert. Whoops. This is when things began to seem off.
While playing, a few frames repeat themselves, but the sound doesn't. At this point, sound is synced up with the animation, so yes, that's not common.
Yeah, fuck, the animator had a stroke.
But just stuck repeating the same for like 5 frames over and over. He's been worked to death, and he's just repeating it over and over.
He drew the exact same frame. It's not even like he forgot some frames, just kept drawing the exact same one.
Oh no. But when he stops playing, the sound finishes as if the skip never happened. There's a slight murmuring in the crowd before they begin to boo him. Not normal cartoon booing that is common in the show, but you could very clearly hear malice in it. Uh-oh, Squidward's in full frames and looks visibly afraid. The shot goes to the crowd with SpongeBob in center frame, and he too is booing. Very much unlike him. Yeah!
I don't know, in more recent episodes.
Really? Is he just being a dick now?
Sometimes.
But this was made before those seasons.
Yes.
Alright. This isn't the oddest thing, though. What is odd is everyone had hyper-realistic eyes.
What the fuck does that mean?
Very detailed. Clearly not shots of real people's eyes, but something a bit more real than CGI. The pupils were red. Some of us looked at each other, obviously confused. The entire animation department gets fired for this joke. But since
you mean like the time that a couple animators got fired from Walt Disney because they straight up animated a Mickey and Minnie porn sequence? I'm not kidding. That actually happened.
I can understand.
Like official Disney animators animated that, and it got shown to Walt Disney himself, and he finished it, had a little chuckle, and then fired the animators that did it.
I can just picture that, like,
You're
Nancy,
fired.
bring everyone who did this up here. Like, just ask for the names of them. All right, you're fired.
I'm just imagining him watching it with those animators.
Oh, he brings them into the fucking room. Just like, let's see
just like chuckling. Yeah, you're fired.
But since we weren't the writers, we didn't question its appeal to children yet. The fuck? You should have stopped it, like, sent it back, like, no.
Yeah, it's kind of like that whole thing where, like, when Man of Steel showing in theaters and this scene where Superman just straight up starts drowning in skulls and children in the theater started crying.
Was it a PG-13 movie?
I think it was PG-13. It wasn't R. They didn't have the balls for R.
Okay, well then, if they're younger than 13 and that happened, that's kind of their fault.
Well, the whole thing about that scene is it doesn't even make sense from a story perspective, because it's part of the scene where Zod's trying to get Superman to join his side. It's like, now when we terraform the planet Earth, there are going to be some sacrifices. And then all of a sudden, hologram field turns into just a sea of skulls that Superman starts sinking into. And it's like, how is this going to win him over? Zod, you're a fucking idiot.
Maybe he thinks that all the super people are, like, crazy.
All Kryptonians are crazy. Well, he was a criminal on Krypton.
Exactly.
I think it's more he's just a fucking idiot that sounds like a fucking pug trying to swallow a marshmallow.
Aw, pugs are adorable.
Yes, especially when they scream.
I used to have a pug, but that's getting off topic.
Do we ever stay on topic?
No, we don't.
The short goes to Squidward sitting on the edge of his bed looking very forlorn. The view out of his porthole window is of a night sky, so it isn't very long after the concert. The unsettling part at this point is that there is no sound. Literally, no sound.
Great, now the sound editors are being fucking stupid.
This is just really terribly made. Not even the feedback from the speakers in the room. It's as if the speakers were turned off, though their status showed them working perfectly. Is this supposed to imply some sort of supernatural thing here?
I sure hope not.
God, that'd be stupid. He just sat there, blinking, in this silence for about 30 seconds. Then he started to sob softly. He put his hands, tentacles, nice, over his eyes and cried quietly for a full minute more. All the while, a sound in the background very slowly growing from nothing to barely audible. It sounded like a slight breeze through a forest.
The screen slowly begins to zoom in on his face. By slow, I mean it's only noticeable if you look at shots 10 seconds apart. How long were you fucking sitting there then?
During the entire thing.
Side by side.
Or are you asking how long the zoom in happened?
Yeah, that.
Probably quite a while. It's like a full minute zoom.
Oh, the animators are fucking going mad. Is this what they... Are they going on strike? Is this what this is? I can just picture them sitting there in silence for a straight minute, just...
All the while it's just crying noises. Hyper-realistic crying.
Oh my. It wasn't even like we recorded real people. It was like a fake crying, but better than like stuff you could make on computers or whatever.
Oh, God.
His sobbing gets louder, more full of hurt and anger. The screen twitches a bit as it twists in on itself for a split second, then back to normal. The wind through the trees sound gets slowly louder and more severe, as if Squidward just had a major fart. As if a storm was brewing somewhere. The eerie part is the sound. No shit. It's Squidward sobbing.
Really?
Sounded real. As if the sound wasn't coming from the speakers, but from the recording studio nearby.
You would just hear the animator in the other room crying.
But as if the speakers were holes, the sound was coming through from the other side.
Yeah, it's just the animator in the other room crying.
As good a sound as the studio likes to have, but they don't purchase the equipment that good to produce sound of that quality. Jesus Christ, that sentence.
Oh, God. Oh, God. The question is if the sobbing I was doing sounded anything near realistic.
Oh boy, I wonder.
Below the sound of the wind and sobbing, very faint, sounded something like laughing. It came at odd intervals and never lasted more than a second.
I swear, if this is fucking SpongeBob.
I'm just imagining, ah!
I'm imagining, bah!
No, it's saying it's not even lasting a second, so I'm just imagining like a single laugh.
Bah!
Ah!
Bah! 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 Bah!
Bren.
You can just hear the animator in the other room like, crap, we fucked up the sound laugh.
So you'd have a hard time pinning it. We watched this show twice, so pardon me if things sound too specific, but I've had time to think about them.
Oh boy.
After 30 seconds of this, the screen blurred and twitched wildly, and something flashed over the screen as if a single frame was replaced.
The lead animation editor paused and rewound rewound frame by frame. What we saw was horrible. It was a photo of a dead child. Of course it was!
Well, of course, they're lazy, so they're only going to have children or women die. Or dogs.
He couldn't have been more than 6. The face was mangled and bloody. One eye dangled over his upturned face, popped. He was naked down to his underwear, his stomach crudely cut open and his entrails laying beside him. He was laying on some pavement that was probably a road.
Well, that just raises more questions.
I thought this was Squidward's suicide.
Like, who the fuck murders a child next to a street? Someone's gonna see that.
Roadkill!
Specifically, it's said on some pavement. I'm thinking, like, that makes it sound like it's on the sidewalk, not on a road.
Some crazy,
who just murders someone?
Guy.
Who just, like, eviscerates someone on the fucking sidewalk? You take him into a back alley first, you fucking...
Yeah, like I said, this is clearly some road rage.
You fucking amateur. Gonna eviscerate someone, you don't do it in plain fucking sight.
Like, that's what we're worried about.
Well, that's what I'm worried about.
Creepypasta can't even murder somebody, right?
Goddamn fucking amateur bullshit. Seriously. Is this your first murder? Fuck, even if it was your first murder, that'd be fucking inexcusable. The most upsetting part was that there was a shadow of the photographer. Why wouldn't there be a shadow of the photographer?
What? This dude can't even cover his own tree. He's in the fucking picture.
Well, he's not in the picture. His shadow is. But my whole thing is, like, they're implying that this man is stupid enough to do it in broad daylight. So why wouldn't his shadow be in the picture? Hell, if there were any street lights nearby, his shadow would likely be in the picture.
Like, I'm just picturing the world's most retarded murderer.
Fuck. I think I knew someone like that back in Alternia. He didn't last very long.
Of course
I'm pretty sure Voltec ripped him in half.
He just fucking deserved it.
That fucking clown does not fucking play around.
Not at all.
Then again, we're talking about someone who uses barbed wire type.
Oh, fuck no.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that was a strife specimen until that happened.
I don't even want to. Fuck, goddamn. Ugh.
Yeah. Anyway. Fuck, I'm mentioning shit more disturbing than this.
Yeah.
There was no crime tape, no evidence tags or markers, and the angle was completely off for a shot designed to be evidence.
Yeah, because it was the murderer. Duh.
This isn't like something. Like, this isn't fucking like a how to deal with edged weapons or some shit designed and made for police in which it's going to be a professional photograph.
Oh boy. Wait, wasn't it my turn to read?
No.
Oh.
Because we broke down laughing when I mentioned that. Because you were reading about, like, the lead animator pausing and rewinding.
That laugh knocked it out of my memory, alright?
Yeah. It would seem the photographer was the person responsible for the child's death. You don't say.
No way! I never saw this coming.
Fuck. We were, of course, mortified, but pressed on, hoping it was just a sick joke.
No, this is when you start firing your animators.
This is when you pause the thing and you start asking questions and start looking for alibis among people working in the staff. Specifically those that would have access to the editing software, the computers used for editing.
Yeah. The screen flipped back to Squidward. I'm Squidward. I'm Squidward. Squidward. Still robbing.
Still robbing.
Still sobbing. Having the floor and half body in frame. There was now what appeared to be blood running down from his face from his eyes.
Oh god, it's my immortal.
Oh.
He's a vampire.
No. No.
Yes.
The blood was also
That'd be the scariest thing in this entire fucking pasta.
Oh, it fucking
The fan fiction is infecting other works.
That'd actually be a really interesting idea.
Maybe
not for a creepypasta, but for an SCP. A mimetic shitty fan fiction.
Okay, there is something that's kind of an opposite thing, where it's like this branch that if you hold onto it, it actually starts like writing commentary into any pieces of literature around you.
Nice.
It's so like you end up like there are just like some files that have like commentary written into them because of it, and at one point they decided to do this with a terribly written fan fiction nearby, and it gave up halfway through. Like it literally just said, you know what, fuck this, like partway through.
Fuck this fan fiction.
I'm not kidding.
Oh no.
Anyway.
Yeah, fuck. Is it my turn still?
Yes, the blood.
Sorry. Just I gotta get that little sickness out of me.
Down with the sickness.
The blood was also done in a hyper-realistic style. Not really real, but kind of better than CGI.
What is with that? What the fuck does hyper-realistic mean?
He's trying to say it looks like real people stuff, but it's not real people stuff. It's a drawing.
Fuck.
Looking as if you touched it, you'd get blood on your fingers. See? The wind sounded now as if there were a gale blowing through the forest. There were snapping sounds of branches, the laughing, a deep baritone, lasting at longer intervals, coming more frequently.
Oh god, you turned it into Patrick.
After that point, gets the screen again twisted and showed a single frame photo.
The editor was reluctant to go back. We all were, but we knew we had to.
No, you didn't. You just had to close the video. This is a bad cut. Send it back.
It's a bad cut. God, this episode is terrible. Send it back to the drawing board.
Redo the whole thing.
God damn it. This time the photo was out of was of what appeared to be a little girl, no older than the first child. She was lying on her stomach, her barrettes in a pool of blood next to her. So the killer took out the hairpins. Oh, God. Her left eye was too popped out and popped. Does that mean, like, the eyeball was taken out of the socket and then crushed? What the fuck does that mean?
I don't fucking know.
Naked except for underpants, her entrails were piled on top of her above another crude cut along her back.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. They bullied a poor little girl.
Again, the body was on the street. Fucking amateur hour. Again, even if this was his first kill, which this evidently is not, being as there's a second body now, this is not fucking excusable.
So this guy's just a retarded serial murderer.
Yeah, basically. And the photographer's shadow is visible, very similar in size and shape to the first. Also, it doesn't mention whether or not this is during the day or at night. Because if it's at night, he's illuminated by street lights, in which case he's being an idiot. If it's during the day, he's a fucking idiot.
Long story short, he's a fucking idiot, right? Either way.
Yes. Very similar in size and shape to the first. I had to choke back vomit in one intern. The only female in the room ran out.
Wow. Misogynistic much?
Evidently. Most women I know aren't that...
She's running into the other room to go beat the shit out of the animators.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. Most women I know aren't actually bad with blood.
They see it probably more than guys.
Most guys I know are worse with blood than most women I know. The show resumed.
About 5 seconds after the second photo played, Squidward went silent, as did all sound. I'm still waiting for him to fucking kill himself. We've seen other people die, but not Squidward. Like it was then this scene started. He put his tentacles down, and his eyes were now done in hyperrealism.
It's pissing you off too, right?
Yep. Like the others were in the beginning of the episode. They were bleeding. Bloodshot. Also like the others, pulsating.
Pulsating?
His
eyes are just bulging and are just like rhythmically bulging.
That's the most cartoon thing we've seen so far.
That's just stupid.
He just stared at the screen as if watching the viewer. After about 10 seconds, he started sobbing, this time not covering his eyes. The sound was piercing and loud, so he turned down the sound. And most fear-inducing of all is his sobbing was mixed with screams.
I'm not doing that noise. Tears and blood were dripping down his face at a heavy rate. You might want to get that checked out, mate. The wind sound came back, and so did the deep voice laughing. Where's the leak, ma'am?
Up.
And this time, the still photo lasted for a good 5 frames.
Wow, 5 frames? That's a whole lot more than 1. Maybe they didn't have to fucking pause it this time. Oh yeah, you're right. We keep predicting what's going to be said in the story. What the hell?
Yeah.
The animator was able to stop it in the 5 seconds.
Fourth.
On the 5th. Fuck!
It's banned.
4th and backed up. Why? If it's there for 5 frames, he doesn't have to back up.
Oh, he wanted to back it up.
Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. 'Cause my daddy taught me good. This time the photo was of a boy about the same age. Wow, really? This time the scene was different. The entrails were just being pulled out of the stomach wound by a large hand.
Wound. Oh, no, stomach wound by a large hand. You just read that like an idiot.
Fuck!
The stomach wound.
Stomach wound by a large hand. The right eye popped and dangled, blood trickling down it. The animator proceeded. What?
The fucking eye thing.
The This guy's got an eye fetish.
It's like the fucking remake of Black Christmas. It's like, yeah, we get it. Dude there's an eye gouging theme in this movie. It's not fucking scary when you do it for every single goddamn kill.
I used to actually like the empty looking eyes on things. I used to think that looked really cool when it was like drawn.
Yeah.
Just two holes, but like gouging your eyes out? No thanks.
It's the whole thing of like, yeah, you can, if it's done right, then it can be pretty horrific. Like this one fucking Italian zombie film I know of. There's a scene in which a zombie just like plunges its fist through a door and grabs this woman by her scalp and just starts pulling her towards the hole in the door. And of course, since it punched through the door, the wood splintered inward.
Oh no.
And you just have this slow scene of her face just going towards this like pointed chunk of wood, and it just gets shoved into her eye. And it's a fucking horrific scene. Because that you just feel that pain yourself. But when you have something like this, or like Black Christmas, in which it just continually reuses that fucking eye shit, it's not scary.
Yeah, at some point people are gonna get tired of it.
It's kind of like the whole thing I was talking about off recording about slaughtered vomit dolls. It's like, okay, yeah, the first time she fucking pukes, it's disturbing. It's like gross and shit, but after a while you just get fucking bored.
Just like I'm getting fucking bored of all this hyper-realistic shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, where was I again?
The animator proceeded.
The animator proceeded. It was hard to believe. I agree. They should have fucking ended it by now and just stopped playing it.
Again, this isn't the Mickey Mouse porn.
But the next one was
You want to see how that one ends.
I want to see if Mickey comes on the inside or pulls out. Oh, dear Lord.
Oh, fuck. I feel dirty for taking a joke from fucking Family Guy. That's why I feel dirty.
But the next one was different, but we couldn't tell what.
What?
Wow, stupid.
What?
Went on to the next. Same thing. He went back to the first and played them quicker, and I lost it. I vomited on the floor. The animating and sound editor scaps at the screen. The 5 frames were not as they were. Five different photos. They were played out as if they were frames from a video. We saw hands slowly lift out the guts. We saw the kid's eyes focus on it. We even saw 2 frames of the kid beginning to blink.
How the fuck did the other eye focus on it?
And how did he blink? Isn't he only able to wink if like one of his eyes are popped out?
Well, I mean, you'd still say blink if they only have one eye, but I'm just wondering how the dangling eye focused.
Magic, I guess. I mean, it's still attached, right?
Yeah. It just rotates on the stalk.
He actually just picks it up and points it.
Yeah, fuck. The lead sound editor told us to stop. He had to call in the creator to see this. Also, it's only 5 frames.
I would have called him in by the fucking first dead child picture.
Like it's only 5 video frames.
Yeah.
And that's part of what's bugging me, because with animation, it's typically a lower frame rate than live action, and it'd probably be safe to assume that these would be going at an animation frame rate, right?
Isn't that 30 to 20 or something? Or
Yeah, it's 30 to 20. Whereas live action, it's typically a lot higher. Or it's typically closer to 60.
Yeah, because
depending on the camera you've got.
Animation ain't cheap.
Yeah. So we're led to believe that in 5 frames of what would have likely been recorded what is live action, you would have had enough to be able to tell easily that the hand was pulling the guts out and that the kid was beginning to blink.
Yeah, okay. Let's see.
You may have seen the hand move slightly and the kid's eyes just barely budge, but you would have not been able to tell exactly what was happening. Like, fucking hell.
I don't
Like, unless in between frames were taken out.
You know what it is? This guy
Bad
is
writing?
clearly not an animator.
Obviously. This man knows nothing about film in any form.
Rookie mistake, dude. Come on.
Yeah. Mr. Hillenberg arrived within around 15 minutes. He was confused as to why he was called down here, so the editor just continued the episode. You can't just say, well, you see, this episode we were given has pictures of dead children in it.
He just points at the fucking barf at the floor. That's all he's got to do.
Hell, we're being led to believe that there is likely still that image on the screen.
Yeah, he
Point to the
screen.
fucking dead child or dying child, whatever.
He pointed at the floor, pointed at everything. This entire scene is wrong.
Christ. Once a few frames were shown, all screaming, all sound stopped again. Once the few frames were shown, all screaming, all sound stopped again. Squidward was just staring at the viewer, full frame on of the face, for about 3 seconds. The shot quickly panned out, and that deep voice said, "Do it!
Just do it!"
Yesterday, you said today. Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Oh,
fuck. There are some things in which Shia LaBeouf should not be motivating you. That is actually like a Cards Against Humanity card I've seen.
Really?
Shia LaBeouf yelling at a man with a gun to his head to just do it.
That's like the best card. You know what set that's in?
No, I don't remember. And we see, I think it's one of the fan-made ones. Or like user-made ones.
Or like on that one website?
Yeah. And we see in Squidward's hands a shotgun. He immediately puts the gun in his mouth and pulls the trigger.
This isn't a fucking suicide.
The fuck
Somebody's
was that actually
telling
noise?
him to do it, and then he just did it. Clearly, this is a assisted murder or something.
No, I think that'd be motivated
Assisted
suicide.
Yeah, motivated suicide.
Either way, it's a crime in Canada and in the U.S. technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't you essentially like kidnap someone if they're trying to kill themselves or something? I know that's a weird phrasing, but let's say like in any other situation, take somebody out of their house, tie them up, it would be considered kidnapping.
I don't think you're supposed to tie them up.
Yeah,
I think it's more you're just supposed to monitor them.
Not just monitor them. You're supposed to take out literally anything that could possibly assist them in suicide, even their glasses. Yeah.
But I don't think that you're just supposed to forcibly remove them.
No, but I'm wondering, like, there's like laws protecting people who interfere with stuff like that.
Well, yeah, but again, there's a difference between interfering with a suicide and assault.
Yeah. Sorry. God damn.
Besides, if you're gonna do it, you should do it like that one Deadpool comic.
What happened there?
Basically, Deadpool stops a woman from killing herself by first saying, "Hey, don't jump here. The last thing I need at my house is a dead body."
Wow.
And then he convinces her to go see Hamilton before she dies and tells her about a better place to kill herself. And then by the end, he ends up taking her to like a rehab center.
So he tricked her into coming with him?
Yeah. But it's the whole thing. It's actually pretty well done and pretty fucking emotionally it's fucking well done. And like,
you
if
anyone see it to understand, kind of thing.
Yeah, PM Seymour did a reading of that portion, so I fucking tear up when I hear that one.
Oof.
Yeah.
I need to stop saying oof. God damn it.
Oof.
Oof. Big oof.
Oof.
Big think.
I will say that is some wholesome Bowsette.
The best kind of wholesome is a Bowsette wholesome.
Ain't no wholesome like a Bowsette wholesome. Oh, God. Did I say? Oh, yeah. Realistic blood and brain matter splatters the wall behind him and his bed, and he flies back with force. Really?
Wow, almost like he got hit with a fucking shotgun.
Almost like he swallowed his gun barrel.
That too.
Also, I'm just imagining that one scene in the room.
I haven't watched that.
Is he dead? Come on, we can now be together. What the fuck is wrong with you, Lisa? It's pretty clear that Tommy was. It's like when you find out that Tommy Wiseau was going through a bad breakup at the time that he wrote that movie. It kind of shows. Oh, God. The last 5 seconds of this episode show his body on the bed, on his side, one eye dangling from what's left of his head above the floor, staring blankly at it. Oh, yay. Then the episode ends.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mr. Hillenberg is obviously angry at this. He demanded to know what the heck is going on. Most people left the room at this point, not wanting to deal with this bullshit. So it's just a handful of us to watch it again. Viewing the episode twice only served to imprint the entirety of it in my mind and cause me horrible nightmares. I'm sorry, I stayed.
Okay, maybe it's just the Alternia thing, but I don't really find, like, dead, mutilated bodies all that traumatizing.
Yeah, well, that's not really common here. I may not go outside, but I'm
not common
sure
for you to see.
Yeah. Oh boy.
The only theory we could think of was the file was edited by someone in the chain from the drawing studio to here. The CTO was called in to analyze when it happened. The analysis of the file did show it was edited over by new material. However, the timestamp of it was a mere 24 seconds began viewing.
All right, so whoever brought it in there was the culprit then. Duh.
Yes. Like, are they trying to imply that it started being edited 24 seconds before it was brought in?
Maybe.
Also, fuck. If we also have no frame of reference for how long it is from where it would have been edited to there.
Yeah.
So for all we know, it could have been finished, taken out of, finished. I'm pretty sure that it being uploaded to, a USB or whatever it would have been on would have counted as it being tampered with, which would have meant that affected the time on it, if memory serves.
Yeah.
Because moving a file does affect the timestamp, right?
I think just fucking saving it affects the timestamp.
Yeah.
I think any save is considered an edit.
So if they moved it to something, which it never says never specifies whether or not they did, or if they say emailed it.
Yeah.
Then the timestamp would have shown whenever it got uploaded to that specific computer.
This guy is neither an animator or a tech geek.
I'm neither, and I have at least a base understanding of this. Of course, I might be wrong, and if I am, please.
Please tell us how wrong we are if you actually watched all the way to the end.
Oh God, this bullshit. All equipment involved was examined by examined for foreign software and hardware. What? It was examined for foreign hardware.
There's just a piece sticking out of it.
Like there's just a mouse plugged into the file.
Or just a giant antenna sticking out of one of the animators.
There's a printer hooked up to that specific video file.
Oh boy.
As well as glitches, as if the timestamp may have been glitched and showed the wrong time. Again, that's also perfectly possible.
Yeah.
But everything checked out fine. We don't know what happened, and to this day, nobody does. There was an investigation due to the nature of the photos, but nothing came of it. No child scene was identified, and no clues gathered from the data involved or physical clues in the photos. I'm pretty sure even in fucking 2008, there were still some form of CCTV on roads.
This is 2005, I thought.
Was it 2005?
Yeah,
Either way, I think there was probably back then.
Yeah.
As well as the fact that, again, it's implied that either he did it in a brightly illuminated area at night, or in the middle of the fucking day.
This dude is begging to get
road.
caught.
I never believed in unexplainable phenomenon before, but now that I have something happen and can't prove anything about it beyond anecdotal evidence, I think twice about it. And then we have like a little fucking fan video. Okay, from what I can tell, we do have time, so do you want to do another short bad creepypasta?
If you want. Or there's an article on the side of my feed that says how romance sims helped me realize that I'm a trans guy. We could look at that.
I'd rather not, because I have a feeling that would just get rather offensive.
Yeah.
So instead, we're gonna do another terrible lost episode creepypasta involving suicide.
Why? Is this
because why not?
I don't even feel like this is like some.
What? You cut out.
I didn't feel like this was a proper suicide. I feel like somebody just fucking told him to.
No, I think it's more of a whole thing of he was contemplating it and then some gave him the push to do so.
Yeah.
I guess.
Either way, bad fan fiction. 0 out of 10.
Either way, it was a bad fucking creepypasta.
Yeah, 0 out of 5 stars.
I wish. Alright, so the next one we're doing is Suicide Mouse and Cinch. And since I did the last paragraph of the last one, I guess you do the first paragraph of this one?
Yay!
So you'd start off with, so do any of you?
So do any of you remember the Mickey Mouse cartoons from the 1930s? Of course
most
we fucking
yes.
don't. The ones
I think
that
most people do.
Yeah. No one's really probably seen them, though.
Fucking millennials.
Fucking millennials ruining 1930s cartoons. The ones that were just put out on DVD a few years ago? Fuck! Never mind. Well, I hear there is one that was unreleased to even the most avid classic Disney fans.
Oh, God. According to sources, it's nothing special, just a continuous loop, like the Flintstones, of Mickey walking past 6 buildings that goes on for 2 or 3 minutes before fading out. Unlike the cutesy tunes put in, though, the song of this cartoon was not a song at all, just a constant banging on a piano for 1.5 minutes.
That sounds like the Fortnite dance. Do, 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 do.
What is this fork knife of which you speak?
Fork knife. Is that some like Alternian equivalent?
Nah, I'm pretty sure that our race ended up dying out due to a different session before we ended up with Battle Royale games.
Hopestuck Battle Royale.
Oh, God. I have no issue with Battle Royale game, but that seems like you'd be pushing it.
I don't know. I could just picture, like, the session. Hopestuck's about saving, like, the universe or whatever, right? A fucking Battle Royale would kill everyone.
I was about to say, like, if you had a whole bunch of shitbags playing Scrub or Spurb or whatever the fuck it's gonna be called on, like, these people's planets. Royale. Yeah, like, whatever these fucking people's plan. Battle Royale.
I bet most troll sessions are gonna end up a fucking Battle Royale.
Ours just ended up shit. We didn't prototype anything. It was a void session.
Well, nice fucking job then, numbnuts.
Fuck you. That shit was weird. Don't even get me started on that fucking cobalt blood.
Oof.
Dude decided to alchemize a fucking camera with the fucking ectobiologist fucking equipment.
Oh.
I'm not kidding.
Let's talk about this later.
Yeah.
This isn't what are we reading? We're not reading Fran's fucking session, all right?
How my entire session went to shit. And a half before going to white noise for the remainder of the film. It wasn't the jolly old Mickey we've come to love either. Mickey wasn't dancing, not even smiling, just kind of walking as if you or I were walking.
Kind of like how he's supposed to be animated walking?
You know, walking.
Yeah.
With a normal facial expression, but for some reason his head tilted side to side as he kept this dismayed look.
Probably because he's in this fucking creepypasta.
Oh god, it's meta now.
Up until a year or two ago, everyone believed that after it cut to black and that was it. Wait, did I read that right?
Everyone believed that after it cut to black and that was it.
That sounds kind of choppy.
Yes.
When Leonard Maltin...
Leonard Maltin.
I'm going to call him Leonard, fuck you.
God damn it.
When Leonard Maltin was reviewing the cartoon to be put in a complete series, he decided it was too junk to be on the DVD, but wanted to have
It's literally just a Mickey walk cycle. I fucking pronounced the L. What the shit?
That'd be like an interesting thing to just like have hidden on the disc, like for crackers and stuff. Like,
oh, code cracker. Okay.
yeah, code crackers.
Specifically for white people.
Only white people may view this part of our DVD. But
Here
yeah,
you go,
just
you
like,
fucking crackers.
just like, yeah, code crackers and stuff like that. You just pull it out and just be like, the fuck?
It's just like, for crackers. Wait, what?
But want to have a digital copy due to the fact that it was a creation of Walt.
Walt.
Does this mean Walt Disney got to fire himself for creating a really bad Mickey animation? I mean, it's not porn, but it's a creepypasta.
Still, it makes me laugh that there is technically official Mickey porn. It was made by Disney animators.
When he had digitized version up on his computer to look at the file, he noticed something.
The
He had
cartoon,
saved it in the wrong file format.
the timestamp was now.
Oh,
because
shit.
he digitized it. The cartoon was actually 9 minutes and 4 seconds long. This is what my source emailed to me. In full. He is a personal assistant of one of the higher executives at Disney and an acquaintance of Mr. Moulton himself.
Mm-hmm, sure he is.
Zane.
Oh, right. After it cut back, it stayed like that until the 6th minute. Before going back into Mickey walking, the sound was different this time. Oh god, this is gonna be the same fucking story, isn't it? It was a murmur. It wasn't a language, but more like a gurgled cry.
Yeah.
As the noise got more indistinguishable and loud over the next minute. It's Doodle Bob!
I was just providing the noise. I wasn't expecting it to turn into Doodle Bob. Should I have done that quieter?
Fuck out of Mickey.
He just runs up and erases Mickey.
And that's the Mickey suicide story. Goodbye, everyone.
And then Doodle Bob popped out of the screen and erased me.
How am I writing this, you ask? Shut the fuck up. The picture began to get weird. The Skywalk started to go in directions that seemed impossible based on the physics of Mickey's walk. How is Mickey's walking affecting the physics of... And the dismal
I still have no idea what this fucking line means 5 years later.
Which one?
That!
Oh, the stupid walking thing?
The sidewalk started to go in directions that seemed impossible based on the physics of Mickey walking. So are you saying that it suddenly stopped becoming Euclidean in the animation? That's the funny thing about non-Euclidean things. It's kind of hard to actually put those into a picture.
Oh my gosh. Alright, and the dismal face of the mouse was slowly curling into a smirk.
On the 5th minute, the murmur turned into a blood-curdling scream. The kind of scream painful to hear. So you mean a scream?
Yeah.
And the picture was getting more obscure. Like my references. Oh fuck, the picture turned into fucking Myra Breckenridge.
Oh fuck.
Oh god, the director's commentary is just gonna be a whole bunch of homophobic and transphobic shit.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I have no comment on that. That's just going over my head.
Myra Breckenridge is a terrible movie adaptation of a book But it's not really offensive until you listen to the director's commentary, which is about the dude in which the director bitches about the gay agenda and says that trans people are mutilated.
How come whenever I type in Myra Breckenridge, it brings up a girl in a cowboy suit smacking a dude's ass?
Yeah, the whole thing is that Myra Breckenridge starts off as Myron Breckenridge and then gets a sex change, and then rapes a man with a strap on.
How
And
do you
then
so much
tries
about
to
Earth
bounce.
culture if you're a fucking alien?
I've been here for a few decades.
Yeah,
You
well,
forget God-tiered immortality.
I'm really offended that you know more than me, and it's what I get for living under a rock.
Yes, I'm a fucking alien, and I know more about Earth culture than you.
Ugh.
Killers were happening that shouldn't have been possible at the time. Mickey's face began to fall apart.
God, it's not a suicide. He's just dying of natural causes.
Well, no, the suicide thing ties in later.
Okay.
His eyes, not capitalized despite being the beginning of a sentence, rolled on the
eyes.
Oh god, rolled on the bottom of his chin like two marbles in a fishbowl. I'm sorry, I don't find that scary. I find that funny.
I'm pretty sure there's cartoons where people's eyes fall out like this back in the day, and they aren't really that scary.
Like I could see
probably
that happening.
Halloween goofy stuff.
I could see like fucking Oni and G animating something that way.
Yeah. This guy's
fuck. I can hear an ice cream truck outside. Yeah, I fucking heard that through the wall.
Who's ready for the Ice Cream Man creepypasta?
Oh god.
Starring an alien.
It'd be worse than the Ice Cream Man movie, I can tell you that.
Probably.
And his curled smile was pointed upwards on the left side of his face. I mean, that creepypasta probably wouldn't involve Todd Howard, so of course it's going to be worse. That man's a treasure. It also wouldn't be funded by porn.
Oh,
I kid you not.
About this, or?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Ice Cream Man, a horror movie that was created by a porn director.
Hey, if anyone knows about white cold liquids, it'd be a porn star.
Well, porn director.
Yeah, porn director, spawn director. Who cares?
Spore. Porn director, spore director.
Wait, like the video game Spore?
Yes. You know, the thing that everyone uses to make penises.
I can just picture him like, alright, we're gonna use the Spore creation pit. The Spore creation kit to create our monsters for our.
Oh god.
Everyone just makes a dick. Well, looks like we're making a porno again.
Anyway.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes, the buildings.
The buildings.
Became.
The buildings became rubble, floating in midair, and the Psyduck was still impossibly navigating in warped directions. A few seemingly inconceivable with what we as humans know about direction.
Is this supposed to be implying that this is a Lovecraftian video file?
I'm thinking this is more like those old like art pictures where like it's just the stairs in all the different directions.
It's an INC Escher animation.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
That's honest. I mean, the idea of a Lovecraftian video file honestly isn't terribly bad. I mean, it'd be eldritch horror in the modern age, so why wouldn't like an eldritch abomination affect technology? But at the same time,
there is a video I cannot comprehend.
Yeah, like it seems like it'd be an alright idea, kind of like mimetic horror. The problem is that it's a bad execution, partly because for some reason it's taking something that already exists.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sorry, I have no great grand comments on half the stuff you say.
Mr. Malton.
Fuck, I lost my... Damn! Mr. Mr. Malton got disturbed and left the room, sending an employee to finish the video and take notes of everything happening up until the last second, and afterward immediately stored the disc in the cartoon into the vault. Wait, there's a video vault?
I know that there's the quote-unquote vault, but I didn't know it was a real vault.
Oh, do they just like store all the videos they have there?
Have you not seen like those commercials? It's like, for a limited time, Pinocchio's out of the Disney vault. Buy it before it gets put back in, or whatever.
Not in a while, so it's slipped my mind.
Like you'd watch like the old clamshell VHS tapes of like Disney movies and shit, and you'd see those like previews at the beginning. It's like, buy this movie before it gets put back in the vault forever.
Huh. Alright. Anyways, the historic screaming lasted 8 minutes, and a few seconds in, then it abruptly cuts to Mickey Mouse face at the credits of the end of every video with what sounded like a broken music box playing in the background.
This happened for about 30 seconds, and whatever was in that remaining 30 seconds, I haven't been able to get a sliver of information about. From a security guard working under me who was making rounds outside that room, I was told that after the last frame, the employee stumbled out of the room with pale skin, saying, "Real suffering is not known," 7 times. All right. Real suffering is not known. 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 There. Before speedily taking the guard's pistol and offing off on the spot. The last thing I could get. What?
I'm just picturing that what he was actually watching was. It was just Eldritch porn.
It's just what porn?
Eldritch Abomination porn.
Nice.
It's just an Eldritch Abomination sending nudes to.
Oh god, we're finally gonna get to see how the Daughters of Cthulhu were conceived.
Exactly.
Now you see here, Cthulhu's bride really throws her ass back. Really throws her ass back at Fatagan.
Oh no. The thing I could. Ever seen a giant, inconceivable beast eat ass?
You ever seen Oral from Beyond the Stars?
Oh no.
Oh god. He comes!
The thing I could get out of Leonard Martin was that at the last frame was a piece of Russian text. God damn, it's the Russian spies! Text that roughly said, "The sights of hell brings its viewers back in."
No, you gotta say it with a Russian accent. The sights of hell bring its viewers back in.
As far as I know, no one else has seen it, but there have been dozens of attempts at getting the file on Rapid Share by Fuck's Rapid Share?
I think it's dead.
Good. By employees inside the studios, all of whom had promptly terminated of their jobs.
Whether you got it online or not is up for debate. But if rumors serve me right, it's online somewhere under SuicideMouse.avi. Hell, there's probably dozens of it on YouTube.
Let's look now.
I've already seen those.
I haven't.
I mean, I only killed myself a few times, so.
I haven't got to that yet. Seems like fun.
God. If you ever find a copy of the film, I want you to never view it. And contact me by phone immediately, regardless of the time. When a Disney death is covered up as well as this, it means it has to be something huge. Get back to me, TR. Oh, wait, shit. I read the last 2 lines of the email. I guess you read the last line of the pasta.
I've yet to find a copy of this, but it's out there.
The original author.
I know it. Yep. Yay, 2 suicides in one go.
Yay.
Both of them shit.
Real suffering is not known. 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 Suffering. Real suffering. Not known. Real suffering.
Totally known. It's called What Are We Reading?
Are you talking about us experiencing it, or people listening to us?
I'd say it goes both ways.
Ah, now I understand.
Well, that's all, folks.